All right, I'm going to record this one more time. The first time I did it, there was no sound. The second time I did it, I messed up the last sheet of cuts. So hopefully this time it's going to work because I'm down to my last 3 sheets of paper. So let me just get into what I'm doing here is I'm going to teach you how to cut paper for what I'm calling a 3-sheet wonder. So essentially that is using 3 12 by 12 sheets of paper, and we're going to cut it up in such a way that you're going to end up with 25 cards. All right. Ideally, you want non-directional paper. I am using paper from the scrapbooking line, which is the Everyday Happiness designer paper, the 12 by 12. You get 12 sheets and you get 4 each of the 3 patterns. All right. So this is a great paper for Stamp-A-Stacks, for workshops, because you get 4 sheets of every piece, where normally you only get 2. So this is a very economical way to get a lot of cards for your business or for pleasure. And I like both sides of the paper. So this one's my favorite. It's Lost Lagoon. It's got wild wheat in it. This one is an ombre, and then this one I love the flowers. On the other side, the vines. I found it a little trickier to work with on these particular cards, but it's still lovely. So we've got wild wheat, pretty peacock, Lost Lagoon. This could be a crumb cake or even a pebbled path. Could work on that. These ones, you could even use a gray, but I think Pebbled Path or Gray Granite would work on there as well for different card bases. So I'm going to show you how to chop it up, and hopefully I don't mess up the last sheet like I did before. So you want to just make sure you stay organized. This thing, now I'm going to have a bazillion of these cards because this is the 3rd time I've chopped it up. But I've got my cheat sheets, and I do well for page 1 and 2. Page 3, maybe not. We'll see. Actually, maybe I'll do what I'm calling page 3 first because it's fresh in my mind right now, and hopefully I won't screw it up. So I'm going to start with this one. It is the plaid, and then the wheat is on the other side. So I'm going to start with this one first. All right. For all of these, we're starting off by chopping our 12 by 12 into 4 by 12. All right. So with all of them, start with chopping them all up into 4-inch strips. And then we're going to go from there. And I'll do one at a time, just so we're not confusing you. So this first one, we are going to cut this first sheet. We're going to turn it at 6 to this orientation along the top is the 12, and we're going to chop it at 6. Okay, so we have 2 6-inch pieces. We're going to move this one to the side. We're going to work with this one. We need to cut 6 1 by 4 inches, so it's already 4. So we're just going to go along and chop 6 at 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're going to put those aside. So we've got 6 that are 6 that are 1 by 4. Okay, we're going to keep 3 of them as is. We're going to take the other 3 and we're going to cut them in half, which will give us 6 that are 1 inch by 2 inches. So put it in here and chop it at 2. This is the most confusing sheet just because there's so many cuts. So I'm going to do this one first because it's fresh in my memory on how I screwed it up a minute ago. Okay, so we have 3 pieces that are 1 by 4, and we now have 6 pieces that are 1 by 2. Okay, so that's done. Put it to the side. This is the other half of it, so it's 6 by 4. We're going to chop this into 2 by 2 inch strips. So cut it in half at 2. Right, it's 4 inches wide, so cut it at 2. Stack them on top of each other and chop them into 2 and 2 again. 2 and 2. So you have 6 2 by 2 squares. Okay, put that aside. So that's our first chunk of this designer paper. The next sheet, so this is 4 by 12. We're going to chop it into 1 1/4, 1 1/4 4 times. No, 6 times. Sorry, 1 1/4 6 times. So 1 1/4. I prefer to do it this way rather than this way, just so that I've got more real estate up here. So it's going to be, chances of it being straight are a lot higher. So 1 1/4 6 times. 1 1/4 1. 1 1/4 2. 1 1/4, 3, 1 1/4, 4, 1 1/4, 5, 1 1/4, 6. All right, now this we're going to chop at 3/4. So we've got 6 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 4. Okay, we're going to chop all of this at 3/4. So you should end up with 6 strips that are 3/4. My math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, take 4 of them away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 of them are 3/4 by 4. These two we're going to chop in half at 2. So stack them up. They're already 3/4 of an inch. Chop them at 2. So now we have 4 that are 3/4 by 2. Okay, so that's that page done. This is where I messed it up. The very last sheet of my whole video, and I messed it up. All right, so we want to cut 6 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 4, which is what we did earlier. So I don't know why I screwed it up this time, but anyway, 1 1/4 by 4, 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, take away 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. These ones are 1 1/4. Turn them. We're going to cut them at 2 inches. So we have 4 of them that are 1 1/4 by 2. Now this one, it's at 4, right? It's 4 by 4 1/2. So make sure you've got the 4 along the top. Chop it in 2. So cut it at 2 inches. Stack them on top of each other and cut them at 3/4 of an inch all the way along. 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, and that will leave you with 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so that is our first most complicated sheet. Yeah, you got it right. Now, hopefully I won't mess up the other ones. They're easier. Okay, so that's the entire, like, look at all these pieces. That's all from the one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. Okay, so that was that one. Next, we're going to go into what I'm calling sheet number 1, which is my spots and ombre, I'm calling. So this one, there's no real right or wrong. I think I just had it look like these were kind of up and down. Like I don't think it really matters, but I think this is how I did it. Again, we're going to chop them into 4 by 12 pieces. So 4, 4. They're virtually identical. All right, all of these sheets, there's one, the last one's slightly different. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it along the top again, and we're going to chop off 3/4 of an inch. We're going to do that again, chop off 3/4 of an inch. Now this one, we're going to cut at 2 5/8 all the way along. All right, 2 5/8, which is 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. And by default, the last one is 2 1/2 by 2 ticks. We're going to do that again. Chop off 3/4 of an inch. Chop off 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to cut at 2 1/2 and 2 ticks all the way along. 2 5/8. 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. 2 1/2 and 2 ticks. By default, 2 1/2, 2 ticks. Same thing on this one. Just checking my notes. Okay, we're going to have 12 of those. Yes. So, what am I doing? Cutting off 3/4 of an inch 2 times. That's once, twice. Now, 2.5 and 2 ticks, 2.5 and 2 ticks, 2.5 and 2 ticks, 2.5 and 2 ticks. So what you have are 12 of the 2.5 and 2 ticks, or 2 and 5/8. So you've got 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Then all of these pieces, we only need, let's take away 4 of them. We need 4 that are 3/4 by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And these last 2, we're going to stack and cut in half at 2. Done. Sheet number, what I'm calling number 1. So it was technically our second one that we did. All right, and then where is my, here are my flowers and my vine. This one is super easy. We're going to cut this one again at 4 and 4. 4 and 4. Okay, first sheet, we're going to cut at 1 1/4 6 times. So again, I'm going to do it this way. So 1 1/4 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This piece we're going to cut at 2 1/4, which hopefully, if my math is right, is half. 2 1/4. Whew. Honestly, if I screwed it up now, I would cry. All right. This one we're going to cut at 6. So cut it in half at 6. The first one we're going to cut into 2 by 2 squares again. So turn it back. So it was at 4. Cut it at 2. Stack them on top of each other. 2 and 2. So you got 6 of those. And for this one, we need 2 4 by 3 inch pieces. So it's already at 4. Turn it, cut it at 3. So you've got 2 4 by 3s and 6 2 by 2s. Put them in a pile. Last piece, and there's no way I can mess this up. You cut it at 3 inches all the way along. 3, 3, 3, 3. You end up with 4 3 by 4 inch pieces. Okay, so we've got our flower pattern. I'm just going to pile them up in their sizes. Flower pattern. We have our plaid pattern. And we have our polka dot pattern. Now I'm going to end up with like 75 cards out of this. If you were to cut up the whole pack, you would end up with 100 cards, right? Because you've got 25 for each set of 3 pieces, and you've got 12, you've got 4 packets of 3 pieces. So you could end up with 100 cards from this one pack of paper. So what an amazing, you could get together with girlfriends and you could do like a fundraiser for charity. They're very simple cards, which I will show you how to put together in another video or in a live. That's it. Happy chopping.